Today we're arriving from all points north to meet at Ushuaia, the most southerly town in Argentina, and for us it'll be springboard to the Antarctic. This is the place to get down to the great white continent, and there's excitement everywhere at last as we step off planes and meet the ship that's going to cross that 600 miles of ocean to reach the last great wilderness on Earth.
This is my 8th season down here in the Antarctic, and every voyage when we leave South America behind us, head out to the Southern Ocean, it's a wonderful feeling. You never know quite what the voyage has in store for you, what the Drake Passage has in store for you. The air temperature drops, the sea temperature drops. Soon we have to start looking out for icebergs, and then it's just a wonderful feeling when we make our Antarctic landfall, see the first islands of the Antarctic. And a couple of days sailing, and then we're amongst it, the ice, the wildlife, and in the beautiful scenery of the Antarctic.
We're excited. We've just arrived in the South Shetland Islands and are ready for our first landing. A tiny group of islands called the Ho Islands. We're greeted at the landing by a Weddell seal, a tiny young wiener lying there on the beach, calmly napping, totally ignoring our presence. But the sounds around us, raucous calls of the chin-strap penguins, those stonecracker voices, loud screams as they stand face to face, yelling at each other, affirming their bonds, declaring who they are and who they will mate with. The nesting cycle has already started for these penguins. Some of them have eggs. At least all of them have their partner for the year. We can watch them lying on the nest in incubation. We can watch them marching to the sea, coming back to trade places with the partner who has been sitting there waiting and keeping the egg warm. We leave the densely packed colony behind and drop down onto the beach, where there's a large group of gentoo penguins nesting amongst ancient whale bones that have drifted up on the beach, using the vertebral processes as walls, as barricades to separate their nest one from the other. The gentoos are so much quieter, gentle, true to their name. They seem a little further ahead in their breeding cycle than the chinstraps did. 2 eggs under most of them. 2 eggs nestled in a bed of rocks. A wonderful construction of tiny pebbles. As we stand and watch, we realize that those tiny pebbles move around quite a bit. Thievery is common amongst the gentoos. Sneak a tiny stone. Carry it to your home. Put it in place. But don't turn your back, because very soon another will come. An attempt will be made on your home. The stones move around from nest to nest, providing protection for the eggs, keeping them up out of the muddy waters of the melting snow.
This is Brown Bluff on the edge of the Antarctic Peninsula, and we're on the edge of one of the biggest Adelie colonies in this area. 20,000 here on these slopes of this giant volcanic cliff. The Adelie penguin, all the old explorers loved it. They called them little gentlemen. Seemed to them they are wearing smart tuxedos, and they certainly are dapper, black and white, the perfect plumage, the classic penguin. But this penguin is really one of the best adapted of all. It's got the greatest density of feathers of any of the penguins, and it's adapted to the harshest conditions. So it's an ice specialist, feeds on krill underneath the ice, and it goes further south than any other penguin.
I've been working in the Canadian Arctic for the last 15 years as a professional photographer, doing assignments for National Geographic, and I'll go out for 12 weeks and I might have one encounter with a polar bear in that time. I might get to see narwhals once while we're diving, or belugas on one day. Antarctica is truly a photographer's dream, where it's just this whole smorgasbord of incredible life where you can photograph 5 different species of penguins in one day. You can yesterday we saw Weddell seals, there's leopard seals around, and it's as good as it gets. The light is rich. The animals are here, the ice creates all different sorts of colors. You've got the backdrop of the Antarctic Peninsula, the mountains. It is truly, truly a photographer's paradise.
Paulet Island in the northwest corner of the Weddell Sea, seen to one of the more amazing stories of survival. A Swedish expedition which brought scientists down to survive one winter found themselves trapped in this tiny stone building after their ship was crushed by ice. 22 men spent 8.5 months in this tiny stone building they built themselves, surviving off nothing but 1,100 penguins and a few seal carcasses. Remarkably, all of them got it out with an Argentinian ship that came to rescue them, and there was only a single casualty, a young Swede, Ola Vennesgard, who died from a heart condition in the middle of their incredible sojourn.
My gosh, they look like little old ladies sitting on those great giant pillars. Golden spectacles perched upon their noses, their beaks, blue rims around their eyes. Blue-eyed shags nesting all along the hillsides, courting, neck weaving, sinuous long necks weaving and bowing to each other, nests piled high with red algae. Here in the Antarctic, most things are black and white. And here we have this tiny flash of blue around the eyes of these gorgeous blue-eyed shags. We've been traveling all morning, creeping into the Weddell Sea. It holds promise. Secrets are hidden here. Emperor penguins are our goal. We search the seas. We look at the icebergs, great tabularos floating by. What is that upon the ice? Something large. An emperor, the Holy Grail. We found it. The captain skillfully maneuvers us so close we can see every detail of this giant of the penguin world. This 39-inch tall, 90-pound, amazing bird, an adult. But another leaps from the water and toboggans across the ice, pushing with his feet. Is this a pair? Oh yes, they do appear to know each other. We know there's a colony nearby. We now have proof. We search the ice edge. We look for ice strong enough for us to walk upon.